What's up, you guys? This is Rush over at Vend again, and I am with my partner Mario from Mars Entertainment.
All day.
He has not been canceled.
No, not yet.
I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you.
If you guys are trying to write your emails, please keep writing the FCC to cancel him.
Please don't do that.
Today, we want to talk about the morning of the wedding and what can go wrong, what maybe we can help prepare for,
Yes.
what to do so that it's smooth, it's problem-free, or as close as we can get to problem-free.
Yes.
So that the wedding goes right into whatever first look, whatever they're trying to do, and then if they're not doing that, then the ceremony and so on. So, Mario, what time do you think the bride gets ready to get ready? What time do you think she wakes up to get ready?
I think
What time should she get up to get ready?
no later than 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock
In the
Holy
morning?
Crap.
Well, I mean, it depends on when the wedding is.
Well, let's say like average wedding is at what, like 4 or 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah, I mean, the makeup alone will take, 2 hours?
And don't makeup artists, shout out to makeup artists, don't they usually run late?
That's why you tell them earlier.
So if she gets up at 10
yeah.
and the makeup artist arrives at 10:30, or she's supposed to, and then she's late, she starts at 11, she should have been done at 12,
Yeah.
and she's finishing at 1 now, and then
Well,
she's
'cause
having a
the whole
problem with
thing
her
is
dress.
it's an
We
all-day
just
time.
lost the first look.
It isn't all day. All right, so let's assume, all right, what
7
time
a.m.
is the ceremony?
7 a.m.
The ceremony is at 7 a.m.?
7 a.m.
Okay, wake up at 7 a.m. Do not party all night the night before.
Absolutely don't party the night before, but I'm saying 7 a.m.
Yeah.
so that you have a chance to eat something. You can't just starve yourself till dinner.
Yeah.
Get up at 7 a.m., have a nice relaxing breakfast, even if it's just toast and orange juice or eggs and orange juice, whatever it is, just have something light, eat something, have some nutrients inside of you, make sure you're not going to pass out, and then hopefully the makeup artist gets there on time, either
Yes.
at 9, 8:30, whatever it is, so that she can slowly do your makeup. If you have a hairstylist, he can do your hair, and that when the photographer arrives, he or she can start taking photos of you guys, taking photos of the dress, and then if you want any robe shots, followed by you getting in your dress. Because the more time you leave, the less rushed you're gonna be, the less stressed you're gonna be, and the more photos and video you're gonna get. But if you're running late,
Absolutely.
man, if me and you have to like quickly scramble to get photos and
Yes.
video, that's a
That's
disaster. It happens more times than it doesn't happen. That's
Yes.
basically
Yeah.
the facts right there.
That's very accurate. Yeah, that's a very accurate statement. And then it becomes, all right, did you get shot? Mario, did you get shot? No, get shot. All right, we're leaving. Like, it becomes, at least on our side, it becomes very fast paced to the point where maybe I want to take a little bit more time with the shop, but I don't have enough time to, because we're on a tighter schedule or something's running behind or whatever have you. And it's the more wiggle room you give yourself,
Yeah,
the
give
more
yourself a
relaxed you can, like, give yourself an extra 30 minutes, or 40 minutes or something that gives you that wiggle room. Because evidently this always happens, that time compresses leading up to the
Yeah.
ceremony.
You know what I just thought of?
Hmm.
You know how most of our weddings, the bride has a maid of honor who's
Yes.
kind of in charge of everything
Right.
and helping her? I was
Sometimes they don't.
I said most of the time they do.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
please don't fact check me. I wanted to say that the sister, assuming the bride has a sister, should almost never be the maid of honor. And I
Why?
know that sounds kind of drastic. I think the maid of honor should be someone who is close, obviously, to the bride, but is someone who wants to do that, because there is so much involved. And if she's kind of forced into it just because she's a sister or something,
I suppose.
I don't think it's going to go as well. I think if it's someone that really wants to do it and is like closer to you maybe than your sister, or as
Sure.
closest to you as your sister,
Yeah.
she's going to be more into it and more aware of things, making sure whether you're on time or if someone keeps calling you, she can pick up the phone and call them. If you're missing your rings, your robe, something like that, she's on top of it. Because when I see people who aren't really into it, even if it's not their sister, if it's just a maid of honor who's
Just
kind of
someone
forced
that's
to
not
be
really
there,
into it, yeah.
she was paid $500 to be there.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like kind of slow. She's gonna be like, oh, I'm
Not as
gonna go
focused,
I'm
maybe.
gonna be on my phone, or I'm gonna go do this. And we've seen people disappear.
Yes.
So when you like need them for photos or something like that, they're just not there. And you're like, where were you? I was getting this. Well, like, there's a wedding happening. Like, this is the getting ready shots. You
Yeah.
need to be by the bride. You need to answer your phone. You need to not disappear. That would be my advice, and I guess it would kind of go the same for the groom. If you have
Yes.
your best man, it should be someone that is like your brother or close to your brother. It doesn't have to be your brother. Just because you have a brother doesn't
Right.
mean he has to be your best man. I know
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
true.
always the case, but I was just thinking of that.
Yeah. Well, because the thing is, at the end of the day, everyone's ideally everyone's role is to help make it as smooth for you as possible.
Yeah.
Because it is a big day. It's the most important day that you're gonna have, and so as a result,
Ever? More than the birth of your child?
that's why I say it's one of the most important days.
Oh, you said it's the most.
Okay, up until that point, it still might be the most important day. I don't know. I mean,
Unless they had a kid before.
unless they had a kid.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if it's
Unless
like,
they don't like the kid.
that might happen. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you don't like your kid or not. I hope you do.
I was gonna also say, for my wedding,
Yeah.
my best man, this is my homie Amir. I love you, bro. This guy was
Shout out
not
to
there
Amir.
for me because he was writing his speech that morning and he was nervous about his speech. So he disappeared because he was
Yeah.
writing his speech, and one of my cameramen would follow him, and he's still like revising his speech, and one of the other groomsmen was telling him what he can't put in there.
Yes.
Because he didn't know what he shouldn't put in there. He was putting inappropriate things in there,
Yeah.
so he was getting checked like to change that, and then he forgot to shave. So then he was like spending time shaving outside when he should have been getting to the venue from
So-
the hotel.
That
I
leads
wouldn't
into
have
a
picked
good
someone
point.
else, but
Yeah.
like, bro, you got to have your stuff together.
Well, that leads into a good point of like, what can you prep before the day of? Like, if you can do your speech right before, do it. Like, if you can
If
figure
you
out.
need to write your speech, just
if you
write
need
it
to
a week
write
before,
your-
bro. You don't have to do it the morning of the wedding.
That's what I mean. Right?
Come prepared.
Yeah, but then also like maybe a package like for you that someone can carry with them, your bridesmaid, that is like snacks, refreshments, things like that.
A purse.
A purse that can keep
Be a
everything
purse,
with you.
yeah.
But then if there are certain important key items, your rings, your shoes, any specialty things that are going to be involved where someone's passing things over to you, have that all dedicated to the side in which no one's going to touch it and doesn't get messed with, so it can not get lost. Because there have been times where like, okay, wait, where's the necklace? Where's the earrings? Where is
Be prepared, communicate.
this personal item that
Designate
the family is
someone.
gonna pass over to you? Things like that.
Because a planner might help you as well, or a day of coordinator might help you as well.
Yeah.
But I still would rather have a maid of honor or a groomsman who I would trust, obviously, more than the planner. No, disrespect to a planner or coordinator, but dude, that's your maid of honor. That's your
Yeah.
groom. That's your best man.
Yeah.
Like you guys should go real far back. Who's gonna be your best man?
My brother.
Your brother.
My
right?
brother. But in terms of duties, I don't think it would
Cousin,
be.
uncle, anybody?
Well, I only have 3 people on my list.
Okay.
So so it's my brother, you, and Ashley.
I think all 3 are capable, so you kind of gotta.
Yeah, that's what I'm
pick
saying.
those.
So if anything,
Come on, bro.
honestly,
air,
I'd probably
pick-
split the roles between the 3 of you.
No. We don't do split the roles and cause
Why not?
confusion. Because you're gonna cause confusion. Just designate one person to do it.
Well, it depends on how complicated the wedding is.
Just let Ashley do it so I can
Okay.
drink and.
All right, Ashley, you heard it here first. You're
And,
gonna do
and
everything.
if she quits or if she can't handle the pressure, then I'll step in because I'm like the wolf in
Ooh.
what was that?
Sheep's
Tarantino?
Clothing?
No, Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
he's the
remember.
cleanup. He's the guy that comes and cleans up when things have gone wrong.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
All right.
He shows up in the NSX.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
So good luck, Ashley.
Seriously, pressure's on now.
Look, because with Mario, you're gonna need a lot of help.
So then, like, yeah, it's also. Is there any like? How do you feel about the nerves and like the nervousness that comes with like the day out for the bride and groom?
Just drink whiskey.
You know what? Whiskey.
Who's nervous? Who's nervous?
No, the bride's nervous. The groom's nervous.
That's
'cause-
natural, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
okay.
how do you deal with that? Like, how would you recommend they deal with those emotions? I suppose.
Just breathe, meditate. Take one shot if you need to. Don't have like 2 or 3 shots in the morning.
Yeah,
If
you don't wanna
need
show
one
red,
shot.
yeah.
Take one shot. That's okay. Have a good best man or maid of honor who's going to be like, hey, everything's going smoothly, or the things that need to be problem solved, I'm on top of it. You're worrying about this, I'm already solving it.
Yeah.
I already delegated the planner to take care of
Dude,
that.
are you sure you don't want to just do everything?
I should just
for
be
wedding?
you should hire me to be a best man or maid of honor.
That's a good business.
That's a
right
good
there.
business.
Yeah,
You heard
just-
it here first.
Best man for hire. Rugger.
Five G's, and we show up the morning of. We'll drink with you. We'll party with you. We'll stay to the end. Make sure you get up. Make sure you don't lose your gifts.
Rugger best men. Dude.
I'll do a maid of honor. No
Dude,
shame.
hey.
Yeah, I'm not
hell
gonna wear
yeah.
a dress, but hey, we'll be there. We'll
I
be
might
there with
wear a
the bride.
dress, whatever. It's gonna be the first time.
That's true. Imagine we do a wedding together.
Dude, that could work. That could work. Well, no, because we've done weddings where the bride had a best man for her.
Yeah.
We've done that
a few of those,
quite a few of those.
So hire your best man, hire your maid of honor, get
Yes.
professionals like us.
Like mercenaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll show up.
Just
we'll
like
do the job.
mercenaries. Great comparison.
Yes.
Great comparison. Good job, Mario.
We'll show up. We'll do the job, and you'll be happy.
Yep.
Boom.
What else goes wrong in the mornings that they should?
besides scheduling, because the most common thing is going to be scheduling.
Timing, yeah. But they're going to leave a cushion thanks to listening to this podcast. A big cushion. So
Yes,
if someone
a big
arrives
cushion.
late, something goes wrong,
Yes.
and they don't have a good maid of honor or best man, they're still okay.
Someone not showing up,
Like who?
like a vendor not showing up. I've had that happen before.
Not show up at all?
Well, no. I worked a wedding, and in this wedding, I showed up for a photo booth, and this was years ago.
Yeah.
The DJ did not show up.
The DJ, so what happened?
The DJ did not show up. So
iPod shuffle?
Huh?
iPod shuffle?
No, so I contacted because all right, so it was so I was already there. I was set to show up, start prepping my photo booth, and
Yeah.
everything was ready. And I noticed that the DJ I was supposed to work with, because we were through the same company at the time, he
What's his
wasn't
name?
there.
What's his name? Just kidding. You don't name him.
No, I actually don't remember his name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he left town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he left town to do his just own thing, and he said that I thought it was weird, and admittedly, that I kind of outed him at the situation, not with the bride and groom,
Yeah.
but they were asking me where he was, and I was like, oh, don't worry, I'll contact and I'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I contact my employer at the time. I'm like, hey, such and such DJ, he's not here yet, and they go, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm here, I'm pretty much ready.
So you start DJing.
I'm not, well, I didn't have any of the
Yeah.
equipment. I didn't have any of that stuff. And we were
YouTube playlist.
They were trying to contact him, but no, there was no PA system. So they were trying to contact him, and basically no one was able to find out like where he was. And then I saw on Facebook like that he was posted like some other state. And he was just chilling, and like he just ditched the wedding. So they sent a backup DJ at the
okay.
last second, but that DJ was 50 minutes away. So the
this
whole
got
thing,
pushed back.
the whole thing got delayed, and it just became a big issue.
That's not that bad.
I mean, no, it was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Whoever problem solved that, the planner and coordinator did a great job.
Thank you.
That was you?
Well, yeah, because I
Yeah,
communicated
but
to
someone
get
had
that
to
DJ.
find the DJ, no?
Yeah, but that's why.
You're going to just take credit for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. I will,
Okay.
because had I not reached out to the company, then no one would shut up still. So
Shout out to the company.
that's right. No, but like besides delays, like
I keep hearing about officiants coming like an hour to 2
Yeah.
hours late.
Yeah.
That's big for a ceremony because everybody's
That's
kind of
huge.
already like sitting down and
Yep.
like he's an hour or 2 hours late.
well, yeah, and so make sure your key people definitely show up on
How do they
time.
make sure?
Communication is a big thing. If you have a coordinator,
What else can they do? Like, hey, show up. This is what time we're going to start. Show up.
well, I mean, leading up to it, you should always have everything in writing, contracts, confirmations,
That's
everything.
almost always
That's
there.
pretty standard,
Yeah.
right?
You got to remind people, hey, there's traffic and parking sucks. So make
Yeah,
sure you
that's a
give
good
yourself
idea.
2 hours of cushion time.
Any pre-prep of like say for example, if you're doing something in San Marcos, that 78 freeway is always saturated.
Shout out to San Marcos.
San
Clean up
Marcos.
your traffic, though.
Basically, no, really, but
Yeah.
that one single highway that's the 78 east and west, I
Yeah.
think that one gets so delayed all the time.
Yeah.
And or like if you're doing a wedding where like I have to show up to LA, I gotta consider the traffic on the way there.
You've never been late. That's weird how you can go 2 hours and
Yeah.
traffic doesn't stop you.
I
Good
don't
job,
sleep.
bro.
I don't sleep.
You
No, I because I prepare for that. I look at the GPS and I'm like, all right, cool. It says it's gonna be.
You should make a course on how to arrive on time.
I should. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do a TED talk.
And then when you arrive on time, you're late, right? You
Yeah.
gotta arrive
Exactly. If you
before.
arrive actually on time, like
You're
when you
late.
tell me to show up at 10 o'clock, I try to be there at least 30 minutes ahead.
Yeah, I don't
It's
expect
very
anything
rare
less.
that I'm there on time.
I expect 8:30 for you to say, hey, I've arrived. Be like, okay, go get breakfast
You
now.
know what? When I wasn't driving, I used to do that. Remember?
Yeah.
You were like, dude, you're an hour early. I'm like, yeah, but
Yeah.
Also, like things that can go wrong is your hair. Sometimes the hair will just doesn't come out the way you want, and this is honestly a
What can
lot
you do
of
about that?
more time. A lot of the things, it's a weird kind of roundabout way, but a lot of things can be solved by giving yourself extra time. Because say your hair doesn't come out the way you want
Shout
it
out to our sponsors, Time.
Time. Chronos, I got you, man. But no, realistically though, like I don't really see a lot of problems that can't be solved by having more time. If your hair gets messed up,
Yeah.
you get an extra 10 minutes to fix it up. If your makeup gets messed up, 20 minutes to fix it up.
And the reason, sorry to interrupt, one of
Yes.
the reasons you do want to have extra cushion again for makeup is if if your groom or a bride writes you a card or something and you're reading it and you get
Yeah.
sentimental and you cry,
Yeah.
you want to have that cushion so that your makeup artist can redo your makeup or someone else can redo your makeup, so you're not doing your wedding with streaks the whole day. I know that like looks kind of cool, like Batmanish or Batgirlish, but like yeah, you probably don't
Yeah,
wanna
for
do
sure.
that.
Things that can go wrong is that's not time related is location sometimes. Sometimes just the location didn't come out accommodate the way you thought it was going to accommodate for whatever reason. I don't know. The venue didn't have enough chairs for your guests. More guests showed up than what you thought.
Ooh, that happened at my wedding.
Yeah.
More guests
More guests showed up
than were invited.
What'd you do?
We had some people sit outside, like the younger people, so we put like tables outside.
Okay.
It wasn't like freezing, so it was fine.
Yeah.
Most of those guys were like kind of drunk already, so they didn't mind. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just ask, hey, why did you bring extra guests?
Yeah.
That's rude.
Okay. Yeah, these are things that can happen because like most people expect less guests to show up than what you initially invited, and that's very common. Most 8 times out of 10, that's probably what happens.
Yeah.
But every now and then, you'll get more people that showed up than what you thought was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Irate family members. How do you deal with that? Because that happens.
Tell them to leave.
Yeah, straight out.
I mean, are they like intoxicated? Why?
Yeah. Let's assume. All right. There's 2 extremes. So one is that they're intoxicated. They're just behaving badly.
Well, I mean, that can happen by like towards the end of the reception,
Sure.
right? So maybe you ask them to leave or you have people escort them off. I mean, what else can you do?
And then what if it's just like someone just having a really negative attitude early on?
Why were they invited?
Yeah.
And why were they invited if they're negative people?
What if they weren't initially negative and then something happens, an argument happens, whatever have you?
Ask them to leave.
See, there you go.
Get the F out of here.
It sounds funny, but it's simple solutions sometimes. It's just all right, cool. If I show up to your wedding and I'm your best man and I'm like, you know what, I got a confession to make. This is how I really felt, Jody. Blah blah blah. And I'm telling you this on your wedding day. I'm like, dude, get out.
Yeah.
Just go, go.
I mean, if it's your wedding day and Ashley throws a fit, I'm gonna ask her to leave.
Actually, don't throw a fit.
Or if I throw a fit, you should ask me to leave. There's no reason anybody should be throwing a fit. It's your special day. That's unacceptable.
Let's see. Okay, so that's something, All right, what else can go wrong? For the bride and groom, specifically.
I'm thinking about the dance floor or in the reception during dancing, how the electricity has gone out.
Oh,
and I'm trying to think why that would happen because, the power should be
you would
enough
assume
for
that the
a
venue is
hotel or
stable.
for the venue, yeah.
That's true.
So maybe just
It's usually
confirm
because of the DJ.
with your DJ, that
I'm
your
sorry.
stuff is up to date or that, it's maybe plugged in a way where, reminds me of a story. We were we did a wedding on a boat. And this was with this guy, I'll call him out, Brandon. He was filming with me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brandon. I was photographing, he was filming, and I had one of my lights plugged in. This was back when it wasn't running on batteries.
Okay.
And towards the end of the night, we were leaving at like 10. So the boat had docked, but they had an extra like hour and a half with the DJ.
Okay.
So I told him to take my light out of the socket. And I told him, that's my light, take it out. But he accidentally took the DJ stuff out of the socket and turned off the music.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And everybody was like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, no, Brandon. And he quickly plugged it back in, but he had to like restart it or something. So it was like a minute.
Yeah.
No, a minute's not a long time, but he kind of killed the mood. It was funny. It was sad, but it was like... I didn't tell him the wrong one.
Yeah,
he just went for the wrong one.
I was at a wedding one time, and I was there as a guest, and it was a bunch of buddies that I got invited with, and the music also cut out.
Yeah.
And so suddenly, like, the crowd start going, no music, and they start just like doing that.
Yeah.
So if the music cuts out, just make your own.
Yeah.
Just make your own music.
You'll start singing?
Yeah, just start singing. Start, I don't know, do some karaoke. Okay, what happens if...
The food is
Atrocious.
atrocious?
Yeah.
What can you do? You can't do anything.
Can't you?
Microwave the food if it's cold?
No, I mean, you know what? That happens, though, too. Sometimes the food
Food's cold?
gets
Yeah, that's
received
what I'm
cold.
thinking,
Because, like...
You can't do anything, though. It's too late. It's already set up and it's cold. What are you going to do?
I guess there would be things that
Listen
you
to your
could
guests
do
complain?
ahead of time. Like, say, for example, if your tables are being served, because don't let the catering make everything all at once up front.
What do you mean don't let them? It's not up to them how the caterer makes the food.
Okay, well, no, what I mean is, like, say, for example, if you have a table set of 5 per table, right?
Yeah.
And that's a small table, but let's assume it's 5 per table, and you put the first two or three tables up. Cool. Then as they're collecting the food, the other food should start being prepped because
But that's not in your hands, bro. That's the caterer, whoever's serving, should know the proper
they
protocols.
should.
Yeah.
They should.
So if the food's cold, all you can do is complain and
suppose.
nag and be like, hey, someone should
Just serve more
microwave my
tequila
chicken.
if that happens.
Yeah.
Serve more tequila.
Yeah.
That's
Write a bad review so other people don't go through it. I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah,
too late with
true.
food.
kind of go in with like. It's like I said, it's gonna be one of the most important days of your life, you're making a commitment straight up to your partner for ideally forever, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I would say is just try to go in as optimistic as you can.
Yeah.
If something does happen,
Roll
don't
with it.
overreact.
Yeah, don't overreact. Roll with it. Don't get upset. I mean, it can be upsetting.
Yes.
If, like, the chairs are the wrong color.
Right.
But, like, no one's really going to care.
Yeah.
It's people are there to sit on it. And
They're there for you.
there for you to enjoy the ceremony, to enjoy the reception, to eat the food that's hopefully not cold. Hopefully you have alcohol that is there because some weddings don't. I
Yes.
think that's unfortunate. But
Yes.
hopefully you have alcohol.
Yeah.
If it's an open bar, cool. If they have to pay for it, at least they have the option of getting something. The music is good.
Yeah.
The lights good. All that stuff kind of adds to it. It's like things that you may think are wrong or have gone wrong may not be noticeable if it's like the wrong chair,
Yeah.
wrong linens.
Exactly. Yeah.
The forks don't match perfectly with the spoons.
Right.
You know, like no one's
Maybe
gonna care.
the snacks are rearranged in a way that you didn't initially want, or I don't know. They're like it's these little things that can pop up that are honestly fairly normal for just small things to happen, and that's okay, because the bigger picture is that overall, you should try to have a nice, consistent flow. Having someone that is a part of your team, and what I mean by that is, the bridesmaids, the coordinators, the best man. They're there to support you, and having a great support system is probably the most important thing besides timing, because that's going to back everything up and that's going to set the pace for everything else.
You know, when a lot of people, when they're having a child, they get someone called a doula. Do you know what a doula is?
No, I have no idea what that is.
So a doula is usually a female or a pair of females that at least before it used to be you meet with them and they kind of go through what
Like a midwife?
sort of,
Okay.
but they're not a midwife. The midwife is something separate.
Oh, okay.
So a doula is kind of like telling you how the process is going to be, how to prepare for it, have all the proper like towels, things with you, so that morning, when you think you're going to when you're about to go into pregnancy, go into birth, you call them up, and they used to come to the hospital. Right now they can't anymore, but at least now they do it virtually, so they can like walk you through it, help you, guide you like that. So think of having someone like a doula, which again should be your bridesmaids or groomsmen, that is there to help you. And if that's your planner, that's fine. If that's your cousin, that's fine. Have someone that you kind of designate as your doula for your wedding to be that extra set of hands, eyes, ears, where if you're not getting along with your planner, we've seen that, they can help make things go more smoothly. Or if your maid of honor got sick and you don't have a planner, maybe this person can step in. Just try to have that extra support if you can. I know it's a lot of people, a lot of things to coordinate, but that's what I would do. If I was a bride getting married, I would just try to have a big support system. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're not going to need all of them, so they're all going to enjoy the day?
Yeah, pretty much. I know.
Horrible.
Things to look forward to. Cake.
If it's not knocked over.
Yeah, if it's not knocked over.
What do you do if it's knocked over?
Get some cupcakes.
Get some what?
Cupcakes. I don't know why I said it like that.
How did they get cupcakes so fast? DoorDash?
DoorDash, hell yeah. Get some In-N-Out. In-N-Out. If you're in an area that has In-N-Out, In-N-Out is the best way.
What are you talking about?
That can save your catering too.
You're talking about In-N-Out trucks?
Yeah, just get a huge order from In-N-Out, have them deliver.
I don't know if they do huge orders for like 150 people because you have to get the truck, and the truck doesn't do things like fries. I think they only do like hamburger.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if it's fair. I'm telling you what their business model is. You can take it up with them if you think it's fair or not. Yeah.
Hey, In-N-Out, that's not fair.
Shout out to our sponsors. No, just kidding.
No, things to look forward to is enjoy the time with your family, enjoy the time with your partner. I mean,
the more time you spend worrying is the less pictures you're going to have with your family and your groom, bride, and friends. So stop worrying, get some pictures, make sure you don't forget anyone because you're going to be upset. They're probably going to write a status or Instagram story like, hey, they didn't take a picture with me. I came all this way and brought
you know what?
a gift.
That happens straight out. Yeah, exactly. Unless you don't want to take a picture with them, then don't.
Let them know.
Yeah,
I don't want to take a picture with you. I had to invite you because you're a second cousin.
You're like,
if I had an option, I wouldn't invite you or your family.
Wait, how do you feel about animals? Like at a wedding?
Like which animals?
Like the bride having like her dog or something like that.
Depends if the dog's gonna bark, bite, all that stuff. If it's like a golden retriever, I'd say it's cool. If it's one of those small like chihuahuas or something, leave it at home, leave it in the zoo, give it away, do whatever you got to do.
One thing to expect is, I guess, if you're really big on your dress, for the brides or whoever wants to wear the dress. If you're wearing a dress and it's a dress that's going to drag, there are options for you to actually have pins to tuck underneath the dress so it doesn't drag when you're on the reception side. And that's if you really want your dress to be preserved after, because some brides don't care. We're like, if it gets dirty, it gets dirty. Just because,
clean it.
huh?
They can clean it.
It's really hard to, honestly. Like,
There's places that clean dresses. What are you talking about?
It
You're
is.
trying to put them out of business?
No, it's hard to maintain a dress.
Shout out to dry cleaners that clean dresses.
In that condition. But there's options for you. Like, if, say, for example, you did get a dress that is great for the ceremony, it's magnificent, it's beautiful, but it's a bit restrictive. Look at a dress that's kind of like, it tucks underneath and you can have it pinned out, and this way when you're a little bit more free to move after. And, like, those are little things that can make your experience a lot better because, they help you relax.
What should a bride or groom do if they're not getting along with the photographer
Oh.
or cinematographer?
I've never had that experience.
I was a cinematographer where the bride and groom were not getting along with the photographer, so they would have me talk to that photographer on like shots they didn't want to do anymore.
How did you
shots
feel about that?
I felt awkward.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I was the second shooter for photographer, and they were like, "We don't like the photographer." I was like, "Well, I'm the second shooter. I can't
Like, I
exactly
can't-
take over."
yeah.
I was helping out someone, and I can't. I felt bad, and I was like,
Wow.
"Well, why don't you express what you don't like, so that person can focus on it?" And they're just like, "No, this person's not like listening to us. This person's not getting our shots." And I was like, that's weird.
Okay, so then what would you recommend? Like, dealing with vendors?
Just hire us.
That is true. You can hire us.
This is what I would recommend.
Yeah.
Meet with your photographer or cinematographer, or at least do a Zoom call, so you understand how they talk, how you guys listen to each other. Because if someone doesn't listen to you, you'll know off the bat they're not listeners.
Yeah.
You'll know your personalities are clashing. And if you're clashing, you shouldn't be working together.
And definitely look at their previous work. Look at their reviews, too.
Reviews, previous work, what else? That's do your due diligence. That's pretty much it. But I would recommend meeting. A lot of times people hire photographers or cinematographers without meeting them.
That's happened to us quite a few times.
I don't think you should do a wedding. This should be the first time you guys are meeting.
Yeah. Because
I
it's
don't
like,
like
hey,
that.
how's it going?
Yeah. That's why I say do an engagement shoot.
Yeah.
And I try to get our couples to do engagement shoots, so at least we've worked together once, and they kind of know.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of sets the tone.
And if hypothetically they hire us for the engagement shoot, but hire someone else for the wedding, you can see how disappointed they are. Yeah.
They're like, oh man, we should have hired
Facts,
them.
yeah.
That's happened too, though.
Yeah, that's happened too.
Straight up,
100%.
yeah,
Like,
I
hey,
remember that.
I regret not going with you. This guy or this gal sucked.
Like, yeah.
Didn't communicate, or didn't ask us to pose, or I didn't get any with my mom or dad. And
I had a list of shots that I wanted. They didn't want any of them, or they didn't take any of them. Yeah. How do you feel about
strongly.
Yeah, I knew it. I thought so. While you are going to have your experience with your family and things like that, that's also something to consider. Don't get too trashed in front of your family. I would say,
That's a given, though. No.
No?
That's a given.
No,
Yeah, that's a given. That's a given. Don't get trashed in front of your family if
Don't-
you're a bride or groom.
Yeah, but if you have no one to watch your back to tell you when you're getting trashed,
Yeah.
and also it's uncomfortable for someone to tell the bride and groom, "Hey, you're getting too trashed."
Why is it uncomfortable?
Well, who's gonna tell the bride and groom that?
Your best man, your maid of honor, mom, dad, someone, right?
Okay, I guess.
Hey, it looks like
I've
you're
never been married, so I
tipsy.
don't know.
I can tell.
All right. I don't know. What else do you think?
What else goes wrong? What else have we seen go wrong?
Injuries. That happens.
Who's been injured? What's
Well, there was the bride that tried to grab the drone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did she try to grab the drone, or is it the drone operator who crashed
Well,
it kind of into her?
Okay, so if
That wasn't us, by the way.
no, that wasn't us. But the way I remember seeing that operator happen was that he was trying to do a shot that he didn't do before.
Yeah.
Where he wanted it to look like the drone was launching off of the bride's hand.
So it wasn't her fault. He just it's his fault. He screwed it up.
Well, but she reached for it on the propeller side, so he didn't communicate with her how to reach for it. So yeah, it is his
It
fault.
shouldn't be close enough to a bride where she can grab it, though, bro.
Yeah, but like it was set up. Yeah, so specifically she
Yeah.
grabbed because I remember her hand
drone
getting cut up.
operator's fault 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the drone operator that cut your bride's fingers.
Don't hire that guy.
Let's see.
Don't do dangerous stunts on the day of the
Yeah.
wedding. Like that's common sense.
Yeah, just
If you're a bride and groom and your photographer, cinematographer is like, hey, if you climb this ladder or this tree, it's gonna look cool. Just say no because it's not worth the risk.
it really isn't.
Yeah.
It really isn't worth the shot.
We do ask our brides sometimes to go on the cliffs in La Jolla
Yeah.
because it's a cool shot. But again, we don't go to the very edge where they can fall off, where
Right.
the waves can hit them. So like even then, we have a lot of caution and
And you even ask them ahead of time too. It's like, are you
Yeah,
comfortable taking
yeah.
these steps, or like if it's on the
Because of
rocks,
the
are you
shoes,
comfortable
yeah.
getting there?
Absolutely.
And that's a big part of that
I
communication.
care.
Yeah. Oh, you're
I don't want them getting wet and they're like soaked and they come up and they're like shaking their head. This photographer made us go to the cliffs and the water
Yes.
got us wet.
Oh my gosh. If there's a pool, don't jump in the pool unless you change.
These are givens, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. Some things are not given.
Jumping in a pool
It's
is a given.
2022. You'd be surprised. I don't know.
Jumping in a pool is a given. That's how we know you haven't been married. Yeah.
that is true. I have not been married. Yeah.
What's the worst thing that can go wrong?
Someone not showing up.
Not
Like
showing
the bride or
Bride or
groom,
groom
not showing up.
I agree.
Well, because I've seen one where they were late.
Yeah.
And it was like making people nervous, but then they still showed up. But like, that would be something that I
That'd be
would see
horrible.
as really
Yeah.
horrible, is if the person just did not show up. Because then, I mean,
Then you can't have a wedding.
yeah, you can't have a wedding.
Ooh,
I mean, you could turn it into a party after,
That's
but
what I was gonna say. I've heard of stories where something happened where
Yeah.
the bride and groom either broke up before the ceremony
Uh-huh.
or right after the ceremony because like I think she caught the groom doing something with someone,
yeah,
and they're like, "Well, we're not gonna have a wedding anymore because like the bride's pissed off and left.
Yeah.
But like we still have food, so if you
So
guys want to
everything's
open
still
this
here,
up, yeah. And I guess there's dancing stuff. You guys want to stay in?
I mean, shoot, at that point, then hey, get hammered in front of your family. I don't care,
At
because
that
like
point, yeah.
that's a dude. That I mean, was there ever a wedding that you felt like that might happen? Because like I
Not
remember
mine,
one.
no.
I remember one where like they were just running behind, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but it was a kind of an awkward behind. Like it was a little extra long.
We had one where the bride and groom would get in arguments, kind of.
Yeah.
They would clash.
Yeah.
But I mean, they still went through with it.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
still had the wedding. I don't think they lasted after a few months or years, but yeah, they had the wedding.
If you ever have an officiant, screen your officiant ahead of time. Some of them are kind of like
What'd they do?
a little weird.
What'd they do?
There was one that was like, this was at the Valencia, if I remember correctly too, and he was just kind of like awkward. Is
In
that
what way? I don't remember.
like the verbiage he was using was awkward? He was
The
weird.
Persian one? Because you couldn't understand Persian, he's awkward? That's
No, not that one.
Strongly
Jeez,
racist.
we do a lot of Persian weddings.
What was wrong?
He was just like using like weird, like he was trying to be funny, but like it wasn't funny.
I don't remember that at La Valencia. I do remember one in LA where
The one
The
that dressed
bride
as a
and-
pope.
no,
You
that,
remember
that
that
one
one?
was funny, yeah.
That was actually funny though.
The bride and groom had told the officiant, don't mention how we met because they had met through like Tinder or something.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I can't believe they met through Tinder. And everybody's like,
like, we didn't
want
know
to say
that.
that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they made me like cut that out of the video and stuff. And I was like, I can see why they didn't want that. And that's,
Yeah.
he shouldn't have done that.
This is why I say, you can get whoever's officiating, like,
Oh, this was also where the sofa lady was this person's, I think, significant other.
yeah.
So like he gave a shout out to his wife during the ceremony, which was awkward.
That is awkward.
Yeah, it's
That's
like-
very awkward.
Like he's giving her a plug during the ceremony, which is kind of like tacky and like, dude,
Yeah.
don't run your commercial during the ceremony. This isn't a podcast.
Yeah.
Shout out to our sponsors because we don't have one
Okay.
yet.
Let's yeah. All right. What about like, for example, I don't know, you have two different teams for your photography and videography team.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
it
should be the
happens.
same team.
It should be
Yeah.
the same team
They should be.
because the issue is they try to compete.
Yeah.
And like if like we're filming, because that's usually kind of what happens. We're filming, someone else is photographing. We kind of would say, hey, we understand photography might be a priority, so
Yeah.
like we'll follow suit. But if the photographer is taking too long and not giving us equal amounts of time, then
Yeah.
we get screwed over.
So is there anything the bride and groom can do like that day of?
Just
in
just
terms
tell them
of
to go
on their
home and
side?
let us
Yeah.
take care of everything. Problem solved. See, I told you we're problem solvers.
Exactly. We approach every problem with a solution.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
Uh,
she should make it known. You
Yeah.
guys get equal amounts of time, and that's it. Like
Yeah.
that's I think fair.
Yeah.
Unless she's like, I really don't care about video. My parents are making me get video, and you get 5 minutes. The other guy gets an hour.
And then we'll
Sucks
show up
for
with
you.
GoPros and stuff.
Sucks for you, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's
and then
cool.
we'll do amazing job in that 5 minutes.
Oh, here's a common problem that that can approach like on the day of.
You being late?
Yeah, me being late. I'm never late.
Continue.
Is loud music. When the music's too loud and the venue's complaining. That's happened a few times.
Why would the venue complain? They should know how long.
Because
how loud it's gonna be.
Yeah, but then because if it's at a hotel,
Yeah.
and guests are complaining,
The
that
guests can complain.
yeah, but the hotel may at times ask them to accommodate.
I don't think so because at the at hotels, the DJ signs a contract on what decibel amount he can't go or she can't go above, so that he or she knows that that's the limit. So there's no way for that's why you can stay longer at hotels versus like a golf course. Like,
But what about like noise complaints if you're doing a private wedding, like at home?
from the guests?
No, from like the neighbors.
The neighbors?
Yeah.
Shut up, because it's my wedding.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Till
because that
10
happens.
p.m. is reasonable though.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Mexican, you go until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Then you need to get a hotel, right? You can't party loud till 1 a.m. Or you need to close your doors and windows so that you can, you know.
Okay, so then let's see. Yeah. Okay. What about not catering, but like private bars?
Private bars, the problem.
Yeah.
So one of the ways I always recommend saving money is to go based on a limit for your bar, meaning like you set the limit for $5,000.
Yeah.
So that when you hit that, they can come say, hey, do you want to increase that limit or do you want to go cash only, whatever it is? Because if you go based on a person, and let's say you have a 150, 200 person wedding and they charge you like $50, then
Yeah.
you're going over that limit and you're paying for like the elderly or kids who obviously aren't going to be drinking.
Yeah.
So that's why I recommend limit. Now the limit is also dependent on the type of alcohol, all that stuff you get. So the problem can arise if you're not checking for that, meaning you're not paying attention, and they go to that limit and either someone has to be there to authorize it, or you have very expensive alcohol and you hit that limit like within 30 minutes, which I've seen happen as well. So you kind of have to do the math and see what's going to be best for you and your wedding based on your guests. If you have big drinkers, maybe you can go based on each person's fee. But if you don't, and you think it's kind of just certain amount are going to drink a little bit, just go on the limit. Like we did a limit for my wedding.
Yeah.
I think it was 3,000.
Okay.
And at 11:50, because our thing ended at like midnight. At like 11:30, I went and I was like, dude, you guys never came up to me about the limit. Did we hit it? When did we hit it? How much is it now? He's like, oh, it's only at like 2,700. I was like, oh, we didn't hit the limit and we still have half an hour?
Yeah.
So I ordered like 50 shots. And I started handing out shots and everybody's like, why? I'm like, because we didn't hit the limit. We have to pay for the limit anyway.
That's
so
funny.
everybody's kind of like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, we got to drink it up. We got to drink it up.
Man, I should have been to that one.
Yeah.
That would have been real good.
you were watching your car that day.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. All right. What do you think is like? It's the day of. What do you think are the most stressful events or time periods within the wedding itself? And how can those be approached? Like,
I think it's just the ceremony. Like
You think
making
so?
sure everybody's ready for the ceremony.
okay.
I mean, other than that, everything's kind of.
Well, like, okay, so, well, all right, because I know you're kind of like hinted at earlier where like if someone's being unruly, okay, cool. But then also like say for example, they're not being unruly, but they're being persistent of like, oh, I want to have more photos with you. I want to have more time with you. I want to have
With
this.
me?
No, with the bride and groom. But you know,
Who's
because you
saying that?
well, like another guest.
Go home.
'Cause
Because
you-
it's not your day. Go wait in the corner.
See, that is the solution for a lot of it. It's
No, some people don't have common sense, man. They're
Yeah.
saying like, "Hey, we want to take the selfie with our phone,
Yeah.
and then with my iPad,
Yeah.
and then with my Samsung tablet, and then with my aunt." Like, dude, take one photo or wait for me to take the photo, and you get the photos. I give all the photos to the bride and groom within a week. I think most photographers do it within a month, so they
shout
have
out
it.
to those photographers.
If you don't want to share your photos with the guest, then you're not going to share it with the guests. So, I mean, that's on you.
Yeah.
And you don't need to get photos and video of yourself with the bride and groom because, like, you know, what
it's
you're
already
going to
been
look at
shot.
once. Yeah, like, what? So you can post it on Instagram and
It's-
say, hey,
it-
I'm
it's
at a wedding.
always for the gram,
I'm not
dude.
lonely. Here, I got invited to a wedding finally. Like, dude, just let it go and enjoy the wedding.
Yeah. How do you feel like about the bride and groom going behind the DJ booth and like doing stuff like that?
I think it looks cool.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
If the DJ gets upset, you can just,
We're like, I'm paying you.
chain it off or something so no one can come back there.
Okay. And
Shout
then
out to the DJs who might get upset.
shout out to the ones that let the bride and groom
Yeah,
go back there.
yeah.
It's just, they're bonding with you. It's a cool experience. Is there anything else that you feel like can go wrong the day of?
I'm saying just keep it safe and simple and just hire us
Yeah.
to make sure don't even hire us to film or photograph. Just hire us to be there.
We'll be your best man.
So when other people screw up, we're there to problem solve, make sure it's going straight. How many times have you pinned like a boutonniere or something?
Oh, so many
because
times.
No one knows how to do that.
I've done it. Or tie their tie.
Or tie their tie. And it's like, is there anyone out of the 30 people who are here that can do this? No. Okay, Mario
could do
the
it.
planner, the coordinator, the best man, the dad, the grandpa. No one's able to do it, and then Mario steps in. And then we cue the music. He goes, he does it, and then
Dude, we can make a highlight reel of just how many
we should
times
do a
I've
reel
had
of
to
that.
do
Yeah,
it.
seriously.
It happens all the time. You'd
Yeah.
be surprised how often it happens. Like, it's really common. Where, like,
Or they're like putting the pin into their chest.
Yes.
Like, hey, am I supposed to be bleeding? No,
right?
probably not.
Oh my gosh, dude. That happened at the last wedding.
I think that happens like every other wedding, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I do more than just filming.
Yeah.
I help you out.
Problem solving.
I got you.
We do problem solving.
Yeah.
So have good problem solvers. Even if it's not us, I'm joking about that, but have good problem solvers. Plan, have good problem solvers, and give cushions. Those are, I think, my 3 takeaways from this podcast. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that because at
Of
the end of
course
the
you
day, I always agree. No, because at the end of the day, what that's going to do is that's going to try to relieve as much stress off of your shoulders as possible so that you can just be there and enjoy the experience because it's already high tension. There's already a lot going on. So anything that you can do to hand off to someone else that you trust that's going to help alleviate that gives you an overall better experience at the end of the day. And it makes the day actually your day.
I agree.
Sweet.
Thanks for coming, Mario.
Yep.
Until next time, my favorite problem solver, Mario.
I'll do that boutonniere for you. So I got you.
Bye.